Hello everyone, welcome to this brand new session on Zentangle Dingsplatz. Yes, Dingsplatz is nothing but a specific string that we are going to be using all throughout this series, and many of you must be familiar who have been practicing Zentangle method for quite some time. It is not a very new concept. It has been used extensively and explored extensively, but I have never done a series on Dingsplatz. So let's explore this new string all throughout this series, and we are going to draw all kind of tiles using the same string basically. And I will be posting the description to all the stationery that I'm going to be using. Not much, just that I may be using some colored microns like brown or some other colored microns, at times watercolor pencils during these sessions. So I would be posting the link in the description to this video. So let's get started right away with our new series, which is Zentangle Dingsplatz. And with a sense of gratitude and appreciation towards this beautiful art form, towards the best of tools and supplies that we use to create this beautiful work, and towards the smallest of little things that we have in life that we always took for granted. Yes, let's get started. So I'm going to draw the string first with my pencil, as we generally do. So keep your hand above your desk, don't touch, and create this kind of a string. Yeah, so you can make these bigger, you can have less number of loops, you can make it smaller, you can have more number of loops. So I've just started with a rough. This is our first session. Not rough exactly. I have started with a very light handed string here, and now I'm going to ink it. The first thing, I'm going to ink it. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm using my Micron O1 black here, and I'm now going to ink my string. The first thing, so slowly. You could have drawn this directly with your pen also, and we will do that in all the next sessions, upcoming sessions. So those of you who are new to the concept of Dingsplatz, so it was just for you to show how the string actually works, or how is it drawn. So it's freehand. Generally you don't touch your base, your desk, while you're drawing it. However, you can draw it the way you wish to, that's fine, but leave your hands loose and then just draw these loops. The shape and size of the loops being not important. Yes, and now I'm going to start with auras. So I'm going to first aura the inside, and then we will go to the outside, right? So rotate your tile. Slowly, take your time. Connect these corners with the outer aura. Just like a coffered look, kind of a coffered look, but it's quite close. The aura is quite close. It's not that thick. Yes. And then we move to the outside. So outside also you have to aura in the same fashion. So this is generally the first exercise that we do after drawing our string or the Dingsplatz. Slowly aura the outside also. Take your time. Keep rotating your tile. So it is not a very close aura, and it is not an aura which is very far away from my baseline. So just in between somewhere. Right? And then again connect. You can always connect these lines to the closest crossing. Yes, done with that. Now we have two spaces. We have these spaces, we have the in-between spaces, and we have the inside. Let's start with something simple today. So I'm just going to go with a simple tangle called Knightsbridge today. Yes, so let's get started, and what I'm going to do is start with a straight line and then give a slight curve to the lines to give an impression of a sphere kind of thing stuck inside my Dingsplatz. Right, so adding a little bit of curve to the lines will add a little extra dimension. Right, so slight curve, and the same, start with a straight line in the center and then add a slight curve to the lines like this. Not much, a little curve. As I mentioned, this will add a little dimension, a third dimension to your Knightsbridge. You may or may not do that. Yeah, so it will look like there's something, some sphere probably stuck inside. And then the next step, of course, for Knightsbridge is to ink alternate squares. So take your time, slowly go to the alternate squares or four corners of each square to be inked. Tangle is called Knightsbridge. A drama tangle, again because of the bold inking involved there. Right, so just do it at your own pace, take your time. I am going to do it slowly and get back to you. So I'm almost finishing with my inking here, almost done inking my Knightsbridge. Just finishing with the last few. Slowly take your time, don't haste up. Right, so we are done with the inking. So next we will move on to these petal kind of shapes or droplet kind of shapes. So you can choose any tangle of your choice, whatever you want to add, whole lot of tangles. Probably we will go with a tangle called B-line, in which I'm just going to add a moon kind of shape on one side and then just add auras. You can also leave a highlight if you want, right? So which means that you can add a slight highlight like this, right? And then just add auras, preferably break the auras, add a highlight because that's a special feature of this tangle. Right, something like this. So the power went off and we are left in dark. So again, I'm just going to leave a highlight, do the same exercise for the remaining sections also. Add auras, add a highlight as you add the aura, which just means that you break the line at almost the same place every time you repeat the aura. Something like this. Yeah. So let's do that for all. Take your time and slowly do that exercise for all the sections. Going to the next. Can add big ones, small ones, whichever way you feel like, depending on the size of your section. Again, add auras in the same way. Yeah, so I'm going to go around and do that for all. Yeah, so I'm almost done on the last one now. Take your time and slowly do that exercise throughout. Yeah, so once we are done with that, now the next is these in between spaces, entirely up to you. How do you want to go about using it? So what I'm going to do is add some random fescues all around and give it nice embedded kind of a look. So I am first going around and adding random fescues here and there, not thinking much where. Take your time. Go around and do that exercise throughout. Some beautiful fragile fescues. It's a beautiful string to work. You can also try some bit of calligraphy in the center space, as we did learn in our last series. Thank you for all the lovely feedback and comments on the last series on calligraphy. I hope you did learn some bit of calligraphy after watching that series. So I have added some random fescues and now I'm just going to go around adding auras. Yes, we have done that kind of an exercise in my previous sessions also. Just like we do for embedded letters, I have started to add auras. So keep rotating your tile. These auras have to be close. Yeah. So they are close auras. So go slow. Take each of the fescue inside the aura. Keep rotating your tile. Keep the auras close, just as we do for embedded letters. Take your time. Yeah. So I'm just going around, adding a second layer of aura, incorporating the fescues inside it. Take your time. Go slow. Keep the auras close. Right? So when you add the second layer of aura, we are going to be adding 2 or 3 layers of aura at least. you can add some tangles in between. Yeah, for example, tangles like print terms, like bunzo, like poke roots or leaves. So these, some bit of weighting here and there, like diva dance. Those kind of things look really nice as far as giving this embedded look is concerned. Slowly go around. Keep rotating your tile. Keep the auras close. Yeah, so that was the first layer. Now go back, add some bit of weight here and there as we generally do. And along with the weight, you can always insert some orbs here and there. Generally, wherever there are turnings, you add some extra ink there and you try and insert some nice orbs sitting there cozily. Some extra ink here and there. Take your time. Slowly go to each. Some bit of spaces can be totally inked. Again, add some orbs. You want, you can add some print terms. Yeah. So take your time. Slowly go to each of the curvy places, curvy areas. Add that touch of ink. Some bit of orbs here and there. Like this. Yeah, very small little spaces can be inked completely. Once we are done with that, now you can add some bit of extra ink just like we do for diva dance. Add some of the places wherever you feel like. Just randomly choosing places to add those humps just like we have in diva dance. Yes. Giving kind of an uneven look to my aura. Take your time. Slowly. Wherever you wish to. Add that extra ink. Yeah. And then I'm going to add the second layer of auras. Again, a close layer. Now incorporating everything that we have added to the first layer, just bring it inside your second layer. Whatever spaces are there, just go with the spaces you have. Right? So we have created kind of an island here. This island can be comfortably filled up with some tipples. Small spaces, go slow and fill up the space. Yeah, like this. And then you have to continue adding the aura. So we have stopped here. Again, go ahead. keep going in the same way. Small little islands here and there, very small, you can ink it, and if there is a little space you can add some tangle, not necessarily tipple. You can also go with Knightsbridge, whatever tangle you feel like. Yeah, so I'm again going to, since we have added tipple, let's do that here also. Yeah, and then again I'm going to continue in the same fashion. So you draw at your own pace. This is going to take a little while. Add tangles, keep adding tangles in between, whatever you feel like. Probably you can add a printum, or again you can add tipples here, like this. Yeah. So I'm done with my second layer. Now there are some bit of empty spaces here and there. Either you can go around once again, or you can just add aura here. So I'm not going to go around once again. I'm just going to add some bit of inking here and there, just like we do for Diva Dance, and then just aura this space like this. Yeah, and then you can add probably one more aura. I'm just going ahead and adding ink here and there, generally at the turnings, to add a little more character. And then this space can be comfortably filled with tipple. Take your time. Like this. Similarly this space, so add a hump or a bump here. Then just aura the space randomly, creating any kind of a shape there, and then adding those orbs as we did in the earlier sections. This space is again pretty narrow space there, just add one more aura and add some bit of tipple. You can add some bit of weight here and there. You can add a printum here to fill up that space. Some bit of weight here and there. That's it. Some more tipples. So I'm not going around again, I'm just kind of filling up those empty places to give a kind of a whole look to my Dingsplats. Yeah, something like that. I don't think we need anything else. Yeah, that's about it. Some bit of printums here and there. So that's how it looks like. Let us now first shade, and then we shall see if we want to add something else here and there, we can do that. Yeah. So as far as shading is concerned, the center, again add some thick graphite at the edges because you want the center to pop up. So edges have to recede. So there is no need as such to add graphite on the black, but okay, it's easier and faster if you run your pencil through. So I'm pressing the pencil hard. I will leave some white space in the center, however the edges have to be dark so that they kind of recede and you get a pillow kind of an effect. Yes, and then comes the B light. So I'm just going to add shadow here. Yes. You can add it anywhere. You can also add shadow on this side, right? So wherever you feel like, don't think much about where the light source is, that's okay. The way you feel like. If there is a highlight this side, you generally shade on the other side. Yeah. If you go by logic, yeah. Right. So we have added graphite here also. And then these sections can be highlighted. The coffering, wherever there are these lines, you can add some bit of graphite there. And then comes these outside spaces, so I'm just going to add some here and then we shall see if we want to add more. Take your time, slowly add the graphite wherever you feel like. And then I'm going to blend. So as far this part is concerned, make sure your ink has dried up before you put your blending stub on it. If you want, you can add some more depth by using your gray brush pen. So those of you who have been following me for quite some time, I use that tool often. Just to add a little extra depth. Yes. And then just blend here. Don't blend too much. Make sure the whites are also visible. Yes. That is what shading is all about. Contrast, depth, and dimension. So be patient and shade nicely, blend nicely, don't haste up while you're shading. Yeah, and then I'm just going to blend this part. Not doing too much here. You want, you can enclose this area and shade there, all the sides. Yeah. But since spaces are small, I try to do that, except this one. This is a big area, but probably it will make the entire area gray. So I'm done with my blending. Now is the time for white chalk, right? So first thing first, you have to highlight the center. With your chalk and use a different blending stub to soften it. Blend it with the rest. Right, here we already have a highlight. If you want, you can add some bit of chalk here in the center. Make sure you have not added graphite there. The center is highlighted, so you can run your chalk there. Right, and you can run it here also, but I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm going to add some bit of graphite around. So I'm just going to add an aura like this outside my Dingsplatz, and then probably close it with some puffs, or you can add some mochas, whatever you feel like, or just leave it as such. So when at times Maria gives this cloudy kind of an effect to her tile. So she will blend the graphite, add graphite outside and then blend it and then just take it to whole of the tile. Yeah. So what happens is you just blend it and you cover the entire tile. So it remains a little darker towards your Dingsplatz and your tile almost goes grey. Something like that. Again, it's optional. If you don't want to make your tile grey, you can just keep it close to your Dingsplatz and you need not bring the stub all the way to the edge. Entirely up to you. So the white tile kind of gets lost in the background. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think we need to do anything else. If you want to go around, add some puffs, add a little more embellishment, you can do that. Probably we can add some bit of pearls floating around or caviars. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, not too many, just a few. That's about it. So one last thing that you may do is to use your brush pen and add a little bit of extra darkness inside to show the dip. But again, this is optional. You may not do it. If you have a darker pencil, darker graphite pencil, then you can use that to give that extra dip. Or else you can just leave it like that. So that's our first Dingsplatz. I'm going to close my tile now. So put in your chop sitting there cozily. Must sign and date your tile. I shall see you again with some more sessions on this lovely string Dingsplatz. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.